Atkins Civil 3D Video Series, Basic 6B, AutoCAD Drafting Commands. This video illustrates keyboard input for commonly used standard AutoCAD drafting commands. When using keyboard input, the appearance of a drop arrow may be shown in the cursor prompt that allows the selection of options for many commands. Basic draw commands include line, L, enter, pick a point to start the line command, pick additional points, escape to stop the command. Polyline, PL. If you don't remember the abbreviation, start typing the word P-O-L-Y and then pick Polyline from a drop list and escape. Circle, C, enter. Circle includes a drop arrow. Pick the down arrow on the keyboard. You have the option for 3-point, 2-point, or tangent radius. Pick the center point for the circle. Either enter a radius or drag to the distance for the circle. C, enter. Pick the down arrow on the keyboard. Tangent radius. Pick a tangent line. Another tangent line. Specify a radius, 100, enter. Arc, A, enter, down arrow. You can pick the center or you can pick the 3 points for the arc. Pick the 3 points, escape, arc to restart the arc command, down arrow. Use the center, specify the first point of the arc. Use the control key to reverse the direction of the arc. Rectangle, R-E-C, pick rectangle from a drop list, pick the first corner of the rectangle, pick a second corner. The rectangle also has a drop arrow, R-E-C, enter, drop arrow. You can chamfer the corners, set the rectangle at a certain elevation, fillet the corners, thickness, which is a 3D thickness, or a width, which is the width of the lines. Use 10, enter, pick a point, pick another point. Polygon, P-O-L, and pick polygon from a drop list. Pick the number of sides, 5, enter. Select polygon to be drawn inside or outside a circle with a specified radius. Let's use outside of a circle. Use a circle radius of 50, enter. Ellipse, E-L, pick ellipse from the drop list. Down arrow, you can use each end of the arc of an ellipse or you can pick the center of an ellipse. We'll pick a point for one end of an arc, pick the other end of the arc, move the cursor for the desired distance to the other arc. A donut, D-O, enter. Specify the inside diameter. Let's use 50, enter. Outside diameter, 60, enter. And pick the various locations for the donut. Escape. For a solid dot, D-O, enter. Inside radius, let's use 0. Outside radius, let's use 10, enter. Escape. Insert a point, P-O, select point from a drop list. The point is inserted, but is barely visible. Use the system variable PD size, 10, enter. Add additional points, P-O-I-N-T, enter. Hatch, H, select hatch from the drop list. Select a down arrow, pick and setting. Let's go to settings. You can select the type of hatch you desire, predefine, pattern, ANSI 131. Select browse button to see examples of hatch pattern. Other predefine. OK. The hatch creation contextual state ribbon is shown. Pick the scale, 10, enter, 100, enter. Escape. Divide, D-I-V, enter. Let's divide the polyline into 7 equal parts. Pick the polyline, enter 7. A node is placed along the polyline that divides it into 7 equal parts. Measure, M-E, enter. Select objects to measure. Let's use the polyline again. Select a down arrow. Block is a station tick, S-T-A-T-I-C, enter. Align block with the objects, yes. Enter. Spacing increment, 100 feet. Enter. A station tick is placed at every 100 feet along the polyline and is aligned with the polyline. Revision cloud, RE. Revision cloud, down arrow, arc length, let's set 20. Specify first point, and then we can start drawing a revision cloud. Go back to the point of beginning. It will connect to the beginning point. Enter. Enter to restart the command. Down arrow. Object. Pick the circle. Converts it to a revision cloud. Reverse direction. Yes. Enter. Down arrow. Object. Reverse direction. No. Wipeout. WI. Select wipeout from the drop list. Draw lines for the wipeout. When finished with the outline for the wipeout, they press enter. OK. Common modify commands include erase, enter, pick individual objects, use clockwise window selection to include objects completely shown inside the window, use counterclockwise crossing selection to include all objects touched, enter. To complete the erase command, Control Z to undo. To redo prior to starting any command, select the redo arrow in the quick access toolbar. Use the undo arrow to undo. Use the move command, enter, select the object, pick a base point, and move the object to the desired location. Use the ortho F8 to move the object in a horizontal or vertical direction. When at the desired location, pick undo. Copy command, CO enter, pick the object, enter. Review options, down arrow. Displacement or mode. Mode, you can have a multiple copy or just a single. The default is set at multiple. Pick a base point, pick multiple locations, enter, Control Z. Scale command, SC, enter, pick an object, enter, pick a base point, and scale the object to any desired, or enter the ratio to be scaled, to, enter, Control Z. Stretch command, S, enter, use Windows crossing to select the objects to be stretched. All objects that are touched will be included in the stretch command. Enter, pick a base point, pick second point, or enter a distance. Control Z. Trim, TR, enter. For the options, pick the down arrow on the keyboard. The mode is the standard, which includes picking the object that you want to trim to, enter, then picking the objects to be trimmed. Enter. Control Z. TR trim, down arrow, mode, quick. Without picking the object to be trimmed to, you can pick the objects to be trimmed and they will trim to the nearest object. Enter. Control Z. Extend, EX, enter, down arrow. The mode, quick or standard, use standards. Select the objects that you want to extend to, enter. Pick the objects you want to extend. Enter. Control Z. Extend. EX. Enter. Down arrow. Mode. Quick. Pick the object to extend. Enter. Control Z. Rotate. RO. Enter. Pick an object you want to rotate. Enter. Specify base point. Enter. Rotate at desired. You can pick an angle. 90. Enter. Control Z. Align is a powerful tool. You can align and scale it at the same time. Align, AL, enter. Select the objects that you want to align, enter. Pick the first point on the object. Pick the corresponding point that you want to align and scale to. Pick the second point on the object and pick the corresponding second point. Enter. You have the option to scale the object, which is yes, or not to scale the object, which is the default, yes. Control Z. Mirror, MI, enter. Select the object. Specify the first point. Pick the angle which you like to have it to be mirrored. If you want it to be mirrored ortho, F8, enter. You have the option to erase the previous object, yes to erase it, or no, which is the default. Control Z. Offset, OF, enter. Through, pick the object you want to offset, enter, and pick the point. OL, enter. Enter an offset distance, 50, enter. Control Z. Fillet, F, enter. Down arrow to select. Let's use the radius, which is a normal. Enter a desired radius, 200, enter. Pick the desired lines you wish to fillet. Enter to repeat the fillet command. Down arrow, multiple. Control Z. Chamfer, to create a chamfer at the corner, CH, chamfer, down arrow, distance. Enter a distance, 20, enter. Depress enter a second time to use the same value for the chamfer 2 distance. Pick the objects to chamfer, enter to repeat, Control Z. Polyline edit, PE, enter. Select the polyline. Several options are displayed. Edit vertex. An indicator will be shown at the start of the polyline. Use enter till you reach the desired vertex. Insert another vertex. When through X. Enter. Control Z. Explode. To explode a P line into its individual parts. X. If you can't remember X for the explode, type in EXPL and pick explode from a drop list. Pick the object to explode, enter. The polyline will be changed to individual objects. Control Z. Draw order, DR, enter. Select the object, enter. You have several selections. Bring this object to the front. Match properties, MA, enter. Pick an object for which you desire the attributes thereof to be copied to other objects. Pick the polyline to match the line width to other polylines. If an object is not a polyline, it will not be displayed. Enter. Control Z. When an object is created, the properties of the object are shown in the Properties palette. It is highly recommended that the Properties palette always be open and docked on the right side of the monitor, similar to the Tool Space palette being opened and docked on the left side of the monitor. Pick an object and review or modify a property as desired. Let's change the global width from 10 to 5. Enter. Escape. Common annotate commands. Single line text. TE, select text from drop list. Down arrow for options. Justify or the style. Specify start point. Specify a height. Use a 10. Rotate angle 0. Line 1. Enter. Line 2. Enter. Enter to complete the input. Move M. The single line texts are not grouped together. Multi-line text, MT, pick M text from drop list. Create the selection box. Start typing. Line 1, enter. Line 2, enter. Pick to complete the enter. Move, enter. The texts are linked together. Control Z, Control Z. Q leader, QL. If you cannot remember QL for Q leader, start typing in leader. LEAD. This leader has too many options and is cumbersome to use. Select Q leader. Down arrow to see the options. Settings. I generally never use annotation with my leaders. None. In selecting none, took away another tab which provides information on the text object that you'd be including with the leader. None. Leader line and arrow. Leader line straight versus spline. Arrowhead close fill. Wish there was another option here for the size of the arrowhead. Number of points, maximum. I use 3. At the end of the third point, it will complete the command. Okay. Specify the point of the leader. Specify point 2. Specify third point. If you want to go horizontal, F8, enter. Pick the leader and adjust the size of the arrowhead. 1, enter. Escape. Control Z. Dimension command, DIM, enter. As prompted, pick object. Polyline. Move cursor in direction of desired location for dimension. Horizontal, vertical. To align dimension with object, ortho F8 needs to be off. F8. Move to desired location for dimension and pick. Escape. Like many objects that are created in AutoCAD, the size, spacing, and other attributes of the object are controlled by the drawing scale and the specific settings associated with the object. DIM, enter. As prompted with snap on, F3 to turn snap on. Pick origin of first line extension. Pick the second point. This can be anywhere you desire. For the purpose of this demonstration, pick the end point and pick escape. DIM, enter. Down arrow for options. Angular. Pick the first line. Pick the second line. Select the desired quadrant for the angle. Escape. Control Z. OK. Common query commands. Measure geometry. ME. This measure inserts points or blocks at an incremental distance along an object. A. Measure geometry provides distance, angles, area, and other geometry data for objects. Enter. Distance from drop down. Displays distance from point to point. Enter to continue. Escape to stop command. Enter to repeat measure geometry. Radius. Displays radius and diameter of circle or arc. Enter. Escape to stop command. Enter. Angle. Displays angle between two lines. Enter. Escape. Enter. Area. Display area and perimeter using point to point. Enter. When finished, point to point. Enter to repeat the command. Down arrow. Object. Select an object for an area. Enter. Down arrow. Object. Escape. Enter. Volume. Down arrow for object. Select the object. Enter a thickness or height distance. 5. Enter. Escape. Enter. Quick. Display distance or radius of first object encountered with the XY crosshair. Escape. Enter. Mode. Down arrow. Always default to quick measure. Generally no. Escape. ID. Enter. To display the XYZ data for points. Enter to select another point. Enter. Center the circle. Enter. Enter. Center the ellipse. OK. Common block commands. Create a block. B. Enter. In the block definition dialog box, name, enter a name for the block. PENTAG, pentagon. Objects. Select objects. Use Windows to select the pentagon, excluding dimensions. Enter. Base point. Pick point. Pick the lower left corner of the pentagon. Allow exploding. Generally allow. Place check mark to allow, or remove check mark to not allow exploding after the block is inserted into a drawing. OK. Insert a block. enter. It is best to set the options at the bottom of the dialog box prior to picking a block to insert. Place a check mark if you want to specify the object on the screen. Without placing a check mark, the defaults will be used. Insertion point, the default will be x equals 0, y equals 0, z equals 0. Specify on screen. Scale is 1, leave as unchecked. Rotation, angle 0, leave unchecked. Repeat placement, leave unchecked. Explode. If you wish to explode the object after it is inserted, place a check mark, or you may explode the block by using the explode command after it is inserted. Select the pentagon, select the desired location for the block, and pick. To insert a previously created drawing, select the Browse button, browse to the desired folder, and name of the drawing. New block, open. Prior to picking, you can also select a down arrow to change any of the options for base point, scale, and so forth. Pick the point. Zoom extents. ID, enter. This object was previously created at the X and Y coordinates shown. Erase, E, enter. Enter. Zoom extents. Z, E, enter. Block edit, B, E, enter. Select the desired block to edit. Scroll down and pick the pentagon. OK. In the block editor drawing, use standard auto commands and our icons in the block authorizing palette to modify the block as desired. Erase the hatch, E, enter. Enter. When originally created, the size of the pentagon was arbitrarily set with the length of one side being 72.6543. It is generally desirable to have blocks created at a scale of 1 or other desired scale so that when inserted into a drawing, the block may be scaled as desired. The ratio of the side length to 100 is 1.3764. Scale the pentagon so that the length of one side is 100. SC, enter. Select the object, enter. Select the base point, and enter 1.3764. Enter. DIST for distance. Pick a point and pick a point. 100.0013. Escape. Reset the insert point to be at the center of the pentagon. Draw a circle using the 3-point option. C, enter. Down arrow, 3-point. Pick 3 points. Enter. In the block authorizing palette, parameters, scroll down to base point. With snap on, pick the center of the circle. Base point, erase circle, E, enter. In the block editor ribbon, close panel, select the close block editor. Save the changes to the pentagon or discard, save the changes. The previously inserted block has been changed to incorporate the changes made in the block edit. Escape. Use the right block command to create a drawing of selected objects from the current drawing in which the created drawing will have minimum size and minimum layer. WB, enter. Select objects. Use windows or crossing to select as many objects as desired. Enter. Pick point. Pick a base point in the drawing or leave the XYZ coordinate at 0, 0, 0. To insert the selected object into other drawings at the world coordinate system, or pick a point to insert objects at any desired location. Pick point, pick lower left corner of the rectangle, file name, use the Browse button to select the desired folder. Tutorial drawings, John Doe, 2021, ABC Road, pick temporary. All drawings will have a name automatically of new block. To change the name of the drawing, type in temp, T-E-M-P, or other name as desired and save. OK. Include map, generally no. OK. Many times, it is desirable to make a copy of one or more objects in a source drawing and paste them into another drawing. The source drawing is currently shown. There are several objects not shown in this drawing. Use the Copy Clip command, C-O-P, and select Copy Clip from a drop list. Select the desired objects to be copied. Select a reference object to be copied that is shown in both drawings. Enter. In the other drawing, use Paste Clip, P-A-S, and select Paste Clip from a drop list. Zoom to a clear area and pick. Move the objects to the desired location. M, enter. Select all the objects. R to remove the reference object. Enter. Base point, select a point on the reference object. Second point, select the corresponding point on the drawing. Escape. Erase the reference object. E, enter. Zoom extents. OK. Zoom commands. Z, enter. Down arrow to review available selections contained in the drop list. Escape. Zoom window and zoom extents are used a lot in AutoCAD draft. Zoom window, ZW, enter. Pick lower left corner and pick upper right corner. Zoom extents, ZE, enter. For plotting, drawing, or making check prints, create a rectangle of the plotted paper size and scale it to the desired plotted drawing scale. The plot size for 11 by 17 paper is 10 by 16 inches. Create a 10 by 16 rectangle, REC, enter. Pick a point for the lower left corner. For the upper right corner, at 16, 10. Enter. Use Scale command to scale the rectangle to a desired size. SC, enter. Pick the rectangle, enter. Pick a point, doesn't really matter where to pick. For illustration purposes, enter 50, enter. The rectangle moved over to this location, move, enter. Pick the rectangle, enter, and move it to the desired location. Use Control P to create a plot preview. Paper size is 11 by 17 window. With Snap-on, pick the lower left corner of the rectangle. Pick the upper right corner of the rectangle. Scale 50. Center. Preview. Continue. A preview of the plotted 11 by 17 paper at 1 inch equals 50 feet is shown. Close preview. Cancel. User coordinate system commands, UCS, enter. Down arrow to review available selections contained in the drop list. Object. Pick this line object for illustration purposes. To orientate the monitor to the new UCS coordinate system, type in PLAN. Depress enter 2 times. The monitor is now oriented to this line. For illustration purposes, this line is assumed to be an alignment in which the left endpoint is at station 26 plus 85. It is desired to determine the station and offset distance of various points relative to this alignment. In order to accomplish this, set the origin of the UCS coordinate system with X and Y equal to 0 at a desired point. L, enter to start line command. With Snap-on, pick the left end of the alignment line. Move the cursor to the left, and with Ortho F8 on, enter 2850. Enter. Escape. ZE to zoom extents. UCS, enter. Down arrow. Object, pick the line. ID, enter. Pick the end point of the line, 0, 0. Depress enter to restart ID command and pick additional points. 2850, 0, 0. Enter. 2843, 92.07 to the left. Enter. 3063.46 and minus 63.97. Escape. UCS, enter. Down arrow. World. Plan, PLAN, and enter twice. All drawings should be saved, inserted, and XREF in World Coordinate System. This video is a part of the Civil 3D video series created by Gerald Atkins of Atkins Engineering. Visit www.atkengr.com for instruction manuals, tutorial drawings, template drawings, and Civil 3D videos.